Welcome to Module 3, Lesson 2 of your Stress Reset program. In Lesson 1, we spoke about the difference between a red zone mindset and a green zone mindset. In this lesson, we're going to practice the 3 steps to change your mindset from red to green. This is very powerful when you know that your mindset is what's causing you stress or discomfort. Whenever you find that you're experiencing any of the red zone signals we talked about in Lesson 1, now is the time, and here is the way to shift from red to green. The Stress Reset method for mindset looks just like the method you learned last week. You'll do the same 3 steps, but in step 3, you'll go to a feel-good habit that specifically targets your mindset. So step number 1 is to stop. Step number 2, slow down and breathe. And step number 3, go to a feel-good mindset habit. Today, I have 2 feel-good habits for mindset to show you. They're called Drop into the Present and Write a New Story. So let's get started with the first one, Drop into the Present. The Drop into the Present feel-good habit works primarily with your thoughts. In the red zone, your thoughts race through your mind. They are frantic and disorganized, which makes it extremely difficult to focus and to be present in the moment. The drop into the present feel-good habit helps you come back to the here and now. So instead of being worried or upset about the past or the future, you can sink into the peace that is available for you right now in this present moment. Let's practice dropping into the present together now. In-class exercise number 1. For this first exercise, I'll walk you through the 3 steps from start to finish. As always, before you begin, check in with yourself on the feel-good scale. Which zone are you in? Red, yellow, green? Here's what to do if you're in the red zone, having red zone thoughts. Step number 1, stop. Stop everything you're doing and don't take any action. Step number 2, slow down and breathe. Take slow, deep abdominal breaths and allow your rational thinking to return. Stay here until it does. Step number 3, drop into the present by doing the following. Take a few minutes and notice. What do you see? Name 3 things that you see. For example, you might see the computer in front of you. You might see your desk. You might see a colleague across the room. Now, what do you hear? Name 3 things that you hear. It might be the sound of the fan on your computer. It might be the sound of someone on the phone. It might be the sound of your own heartbeat. Finally, what do you feel? Notice 3 things that you feel. For example, you might feel your feet on the ground, your body on the chair, and the play of air on your face. After you've done naming what you see, hear, and feel, check in with your thoughts. Are your thoughts slower? Do you have more mental clarity? Keep in mind that you may need to do this exercise a number of times before you feel a difference. If you're deep in the red zone when you start, it may take longer for you to move to the green zone. Trust that you will move to the green zone and stay with it. In your portal, you'll find an audio recording that guides you through this exercise. I encourage you to listen to it when you're experiencing red zone thoughts. It will help you feel clearer, calmer, and more at ease. Now let's move on to the second feel-good mindset habit, which we call Write a New Story. The Write a New Story habit can shift your beliefs and the way you perceive the world. Recall from Lesson 1 that your beliefs are deep-rooted ways of viewing everything and everyone. It is so important to be aware of and take responsibility for your perceptions. One of the greatest indicators of whether you are in the red zone or the green zone is what kind of narrative or story you're telling yourself about the people and the events around you. Our mind is constantly telling stories about everything we see, and it often happens automatically and unconsciously. Red zone stories are dramatic. They often involve conflict, comparison, scarcity, and competition. Some examples include, no one at work likes me, or I'll never have enough time to finish this. On the other hand, green zone stories are free of drama. They're based on equality, harmony, and abundance. Some examples of green zone stories include, my workplace is a fair place to work, and I feel valued for my contribution. The Write a New Story feel-good habit teaches you how to change the story you're writing about certain events and change your mindset from red to green. So here we go. In-class exercise number 2. Step 1, write down a difficult experience you had that happened in the past. This experience could be at work or at home. Write it down as you currently see it. Allow the story to be as dramatic as you want. And notice the emotions that come up for you as you write the story down. An example of a red zone story might be, my boss critiqued a presentation I submitted, and I feel like a failure. I feel like she doesn't like me. I feel ashamed and angry. Pause now and write down your red zone story and the emotions you feel. Step 2, remind yourself that red zone stories are distorted. They aren't true. They're biased towards the negative and full of conflict and drama. Step 3, rewrite your story as a green zone story. You are the author of your life. You get to choose how you interpret every event that comes your way. As you write your green zone story, seek to extend compassion and empathy to everyone involved. Challenge yourself to see things in a new, more forgiving way. For example, you might write, I'm so grateful my boss gave me feedback. I realized her feedback was about making my project better, not about me. It really did make my presentation so much stronger. I feel encouraged and inspired. Pause now and write down your green zone story and the emotions you feel. Do you notice the difference between each story and how you felt telling yourself these stories? That's the power of shifting from a red zone story to a green zone story. And while you're actually writing your story in a journal right now, in the future, writing it down on paper isn't always necessary. You can write a new story anytime and anywhere in your mind. Your homework for this week is to practice the stress reset method for mindset 3 times a day for the next week. In step 3, make sure to practice both the drop into the present and write a new story feel-good habits. These 2 feel-good mindset habits are just the beginning. There are plenty more you'll find in your portal, along with instructions for how to do them. Make sure to check out all the feel-good habits there and try them all. Next week, you're going to learn how to use the stress reset method to experience all of your emotions in the green zone, even difficult ones like anger and frustration. Thank you so much for being here with me, and have a wonderful green zone week.